Hi, I'm Randy from Truck Bed Treasures. For 40 years, Cheryl and I have been digging through basements, attics, porterhouses, barns, anywhere where we could find and unearth treasures and put them back in the hands of the people that really appreciate what they are. So, if you're watching this video, please watch it to the end and subscribe. We go on a lot of adventures and misadventures, and we're inviting you to come with us on every one. Thanks. Enjoy the video. Hi, Randy from Truck Bed Treasures. I picked this stuff up earlier today, and I just now, 9 and 10 hours later, having some time to film it. So, subscribe to our channel and come on our little exploits that we have. We pick up everything from, glassware to whole estates, to cars, to boats, farm equipment, farm things, and miscellaneous, jewelry, a lot of different things. So I'm going to get right on this one because I have to get my truck empty because tomorrow morning I have to go on another pick. So I thought I might as well shoot a video while I'm doing it. So I'm going to start off, I have a Coleman lantern in here. Didn't even really look at it, but a lot of times the case is worth just as much as a lantern is if they're all beat up, and I really don't know what this one looks like, and it's been a long day. So see, there's a little bit of damage on the bottom, but otherwise it's not too bad. It's a Coleman. It's probably 1980s, I'm thinking. 1987. So yeah, bottom will clean up. It's worth a lot more probably than I paid for it because I bought it without looking. I know this one is empty. Again, the cases are cool. When I saw this, I thought, oh, it's kind of an interesting old primitive bell. So I went to grab it, and it weighs a ton because it's solid steel. And it's a boat anchor made like a bell. So it's probably 15 pounds, I think, at least. It's kind of a cool piece. He said there was a bunch of traps in here, and he was right. I sell a lot of these. People hang them in their cabins or their man caves or even out in the yard. There's traps like this. I think these are called spring or jump traps. Various sizes and shapes, but it's a whole bucket of them. I think it was a good find. I should do really well. That one's got a V on it for Victor. That's the name of the company that made that specific trap. Most traps you run across are Victor. They were a big trap company. It looks like this guy who bought all the traps from the same place. I've got some hand saws. I buy a lot of hand saws. This one's got a good handle. It's got a lot of the advertising on the side, so I had to buy that one. This one's actually got the advertising on the side also. It's got a little bit of damage on the handle, which doesn't make a huge difference. They both have the medallions on them that tells you the company that made them. So yeah, this saw I bought because the blade is just so cool. And I've seen one other one like this. It's got the medallion, but the blade's just really cool. It's got some damage on it, but in 40 years it's only the second one I've seen, so I had to buy that. Then this one still got a tag. It was bought at Woolworths, so you're talking what, 1980s probably. Got the medallion, and it's all black. It's like it was never used. I've never seen a black blade before, so I thought that was kind of cool. Plus I know where it was bought, and the handle looks like it was never used also. So it's kind of a new old stock saw. These are a really good buy. They're snowshoes, but they're only about maybe 30 inches long. And I usually don't buy things that have damage. But sometimes when it has damage, it has a story to tell. You know, this has got a break here, and then it was put back together. And it's got a break up on top right there. But I've had a lot of snowshoes before, and I've never seen them this size, and I've never seen them, you know, this color where you just look at them and you know they're extremely old. So I don't think the damage is really going to hurt them. I think the damage is going to kind of tell a story. So I bought those. I think they're pretty cool. Again, I've never seen that, you know, chocolate wood color before. You know, I have an old farm pulley, which you can run a rope through it and hang this, and then have the rope coming down here, and then have a planter, outside plant. So that's a good outdoor piece. This design isn't really common. Usually this is all open here so you can see the wooden wheel in it. So to have one that covers that, it's kind of unique. A little bit, right? I was hesitant at, God, a lot of heavy iron, guys. A lot of heavy iron. So I was hesitant at buying these. And this is one long tool right here. It's probably about 38 inches long. And it's got a wire across it, so I can't show you how it works. But it's actually, if you open it up, this piece right here will slide up, and this blade will slide up, and it'll leave a gap there. And then you actually put that on a bowl horn and squeeze it together, and this comes down and clips the horn off. It's called a dehorner, and they're probably worth, you know, maximum around $100. You know, not a lot of money, but I got it for a decent price, so I had to take it. And when I bought that, he wouldn't sell me that unless I bought this one. And this is basically like a big old lock cutter. The company's name, if anybody wants to look it up and let me know, because I won't have time to do that for a while. The company's name is, looks like Porter's, and they're out of New Easy, out of Boston, Mass. So, yeah, I just think it's a big, like you'd cut locks off of a storage unit, like Storage Wars, you know, those type. I don't even know if that show's on TV anymore. We haven't had a TV for so many years. But yeah, that's really industrial. And then, you know, if you've been watching me, you know I buy these old two-man saws, logging saws. This is probably like a 3-inch one. So it doesn't have a ton of value, but I mainly bought it for the handles because I have a wider saw that I can maybe get these handles off and put them on my wider blade, and then so this is just a blade. These, okay, most people outside of Wisconsin or logging country wouldn't know what that is, and these are used in the paper mills, or were a long time ago, and they grind these to a real sharp point, and then they hit them on the concrete to bend this tip up, so they can, when they have logs that they want to move, they can clip, you know, go onto the log, and that little hook grabs the wood, and they can pull them and turn them over and move them easier. So I bought a couple of those, you know, and they're all basically the same size. You can see this end has probably been, it looks like a screw or something's been put in the end. It might have had a point on it at one time. So it's just kind of unique old logging items. Got a military trenching tool. I've only seen one other one of these, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's probably World War II or Korea, maybe Vietnam, but I don't think so. And then just a lot of pitchforks, and they're They're all 3-tine, which means 3 points, except that one is a 4-tine, and it's got a handle on it. And I usually cut the heads off of these and sell the ends, and people use them for flower bed decor and, you know, all kinds of crafts. And these are really old ones. The 3-tine, you know, shape like this are pretty old. So a lot of farm items. It was fun, you know, interesting stuff, a wide variety. You know, the saws are cool. That anchor is awesome. The snowshoes are awesome. You know, the lanterns are good. The traps are cool. The tools are always interesting. You know, they always have a market. The saw, definitely, I always sell them eventually. And the pitchforks. So, again, this is just one example of the things we run across. So if you like what you saw, subscribe to our channel and hang out with us. We're fun sometimes. Sometimes they're just downright boring. But subscribe. We need subscribers. And comment in the comment section. We always answer them. Thanks for hanging out on this country farm pick. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.